Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we'll take a quick peek at the hot topic from earlier this week. Anthropic raised the limits. We'll unpack it today. People are screaming for more tokens. Nothing new. That's expected. And I guess this is the response to a crazy usage-based approach that aims to pay for all the billions of market cap that need to be captured, so valuations halt. And obviously, the next big thing that needs happening, there is a cost for that as well. Something like that. But let's dig in. Let's review, let's see the math and pressure test it. What was really the announcement all about? Well, 3 changes Anthropic shipped on Tuesday. Claude Code's 5-hour rate limits double for Pro, Max, Team, and seed-based enterprise. Peak hours throttling, gone for Pro and Max, and Opus API limits raised considerably. T1 alone saw a 1,500% jump on input tokens per minute. The compute behind it is the new SpaceX deal. That was the news. All of Colossus 1, 300 megawatts, 220,000 NVIDIA GPUs. All online inside a month. It's quite impressive. Stack that on Amazon at 5 gigawatts, Google and Broadcom at 5 gigawatts, the $30 billion Microsoft Azure deal, $50 billion with Fluidstack. Oh, I've lost my breath here. It was a mouthful. But the crowd is excited. I'm excited. It's more tokens. It's more headroom. And we can cancel the rationing. So let's pressure test this one. The 5-hour window doubled. The weekly cap didn't. Anthropic was precise about that. The ceiling on what you can spend in a 7-day period has not moved. Not by a single token. What moved is when you can spend it. The window got wider, the tank stayed the same size. That's obviously helpful, but it's really just narrative shifting. Nothing to do with capacity expansion. Most users were not maxing the weekly cap anyway. They were getting clipped mid-session by peak hour throttling and walking away with weekly headroom they could never reach during work hours. Some people had to make up over the weekend. So for that particular segment, this feels like more tokens. Fair enough. Because they can finally spend what they were already paying for. That is real value. I agree with that. And I really am happy to see this. But it's really not new tokens. And for the heavy users, the agentic loop people, the multi-agent teams burning Opus all day, nothing changed. They will hit the same weekly wall just 2 days earlier in the week. Now, here is what nobody is putting on a slide these days. I'm hearing this directly from clients. In the enterprise deals, the Max style licenses are no longer available. The legacy seed-based plan with bundle tokens is gone. Anthropic started transitioning enterprise contracts in November 2025. Their own documentation now reads that the legacy enterprise seed plans are no longer available for new contracts. What replaced them? A single $20 per employee monthly fee plus consumption billing. Pure usage-based. No bundle pool, no predictable ceiling. You pay for every token your team burns. And Anthropic admitted on the record that their old plans were changing less than the book value of tokens consumed, by a factor of 10 or more. So the subsidy is over. Now, try forecasting that as a CFO. In traditional SaaS, you knew what you were buying. Per seat, per month, times headcount, plus a contracted overage clause. You could model it, budget it, defend it to the board. And now, in AI era, you're buying a media utility that prices to compute scarcity with model upgrade that change tokenizer behavior overnight. and unit costs that move with the vendor's capacity position. The CFO job in the AI era is materially harder than in traditional SaaS. And most enterprises have not adjusted. They are still treating AI like a line item, and it really is not. It is a variable cost engine wired directly into developer behavior. This is before we talk about discipline. Enterprise AI is hard from governance perspective. Finally, everyone is talking about that. It is also hard from cost perspective, and I think this is the new hot topic coming up. And honestly, from my own experience, because that's what I do for a living, it is honestly shocking how few teams actually measure it properly. We all see invoices, I get that, but there's a lot more to it. Most users still cannot recycle context properly. That's one of the issues we keep hearing in the enterprise AI scaling. Most cannot build clean memory containers. That's just another element to add to it. So every agentic loop reloads the same 50,000 tokens it loaded yesterday. Every prompt re-asks questions the system already answered. Every sub-agent spins up fresh because nobody architected the handoff. That is not a model problem. This is more about discipline and design issue, especially when you want to deploy true enterprise autonomous workflows. And under usage-based pricing, that discipline problem is now a P&L problem. So if you've been designing your autonomous workflows, this is probably number 2 and number 3 line item you have to put on a sheet. I'm going to skip the eco impact conversation today because it deserves its own episode. But if you have not thought about what billions of tokens of unnecessary burn means for power, water, and emissions, we will revisit. The industry quietly stopped talking about it, but I believe that we should not have. So here's the math. The weekly cap didn't move. Enterprise seat plans are gone. The pricing model is usage-based and the unit cost trajectory is up. The CFO of an AI-enabled enterprise is now forecasting a metered utility, not a SaaS contract. The only way the math works at scale is repeatable, governed, cost-aware AI. If you cannot see your stack, you cannot measure it. If you cannot measure it, you cannot govern it. And if you cannot govern it, you will never know how much you actually paid for the answer. I'm Brzozowski. Thank you for joining me on the next episode of Show Me the Math. See you on the next time. Cheers.